Welcome back, Poke fans. I have another battle here against Zangetsublack92. He's a guy that you might recall we battled several times already, but he's a pretty good battler, and this is an underused match. And interestingly enough, we're both going to bring Mega Sceptile, or at least that's how it appears at the start. And he's also bringing quite a few interesting Pokemon, actually. He's bringing Type Null, which is actually a really good Pokemon with Eviolite. Kind of rare to see it in UU, though. It's really a monster in the lower tiers, though, but it can still do a lot of damage and also take some hits with that Eviolite. So, going to be interesting. I'm going to go ahead and lead with my Nihilego as he leads with his Klefki. And, yeah, I'm kind of figuring this guy is obviously going to be Prankster, not to mention if he has any, Steel move. I don't think he will, but I just don't want to take the T-Wave. I decided to go out into my Volcanion, which can do significantly more damage to this thing with a lot less risk. I do take the Thunder Wave, but it doesn't really hurt me that badly because I'm not a Scarf Volcanion. I'm actually a Specs one. So it's not really like I'm going to outspeed things a lot anyway. However, I do get Parahax there, allowing him to get his second layer of spikes. Now, I'm kind of thinking that he might be sashed here because he did stay in on my Volcanion. Instead, he is actually not and just loses his Klefki. So that's okay. Because they're spikes, it's not really that hard to get rid of them. I did bring Crobat, and it's actually a banded Crobat, but I carried Defog on it anyway, just because, it's good to carry Defog on things. He is going to go ahead and knock off. And I'm like, okay, after the knockoff, maybe I can live another knockoff because I don't have an item anymore, so I can just go for that Defog and maybe change up my move. I mean, it's not going to do that much to this Muck, but I thought it would still do decent damage. Unfortunately for me, it does actually kill me at that range. I was thinking I might be able to survive because knockoff does reduce damage when I'm not holding an item anymore, but it ends up killing me, which I was pretty shocked about, and not sure what the deal is with that. I guess it was close, but I still thought I would have it. Oh, well. So anyway, I'm going to go to my Metagross now. I'm just going to go for the Earthquake because it's super effective against Muck. He's going to wisely switch out into Suicune. And as you can see, he takes that okay, not great. Should have probably realized at this point that, well, I don't know. That damage is okay. About what you would expect, really. I'm just going to go ahead and switch out. And I go into my Blissey, thinking, it's Chansey. It's my Blissey, but it's named Chansey. I have no idea why. I don't really remember why. And I don't think there's any logic to it whatsoever. But you know what? Chansey is cooler than Blissey, so there's that. Anyway, he's going to go for a Calm Mind. Now, I do have Toxic, so I'm like, okay, this is a standard Suicune. I can get it Toxic Poison. He might have Rest, but at the very least, it'll force him to do it. Now, he's going to surprise me here with the Protect, which I was not expecting, nor did I have I seen on Suicune. Now, it ends up being, I believe, this is actually a trendy set that some people are using. Looking it up during the battle, but yeah, apparently this is actually a PP stalling set with Protect, because obviously Suicune has Pressure. It does have a Calm Mind. Now, because he has Protect and Substitute, he's obviously doesn't have room for a second attacking move, so he probably just has Scald or Ice Beam, but not both. But he is going to keep trying to do that, and I'm like, I'm a Blissey, okay? It doesn't matter how many Calm Minds you're going to get. You can't really do much to me. Unfortunately, though, due to Suicune's very good HP and probably investment in it, he's going to be able to actually live. His Substitute is able to live a Seismic Toss. So I'm thinking that he can actually, I'm sorry about this, but I don't want to switch out because I feel like if I go into another Pokemon without seeing its move, it's going to be just bad. And I'm kind of in a bad situation because I know that he can PP stall me, although I know that he can't really hurt me much without like a billion Calm Minds. Then again, I don't really want to give him a billion Calm Minds. If I was, you know what I really should have done is right in the early going here, just switched out into my Sceptile, knowing that after he revealed Scald, because my Sceptile, after you see when it Mega Evolves, is going to be X4 resistant to that, although it'd still be annoying to get the burn on it, and I kind of don't want to give this guy a substitute, so I'm just going to be, I guess I'm just going to be very, very, what's the word? Stubborn. That's what I'm being. I'm being stubborn because I thought that my Blissey would obviously, and mind you, I hate Blissey, and I still hate Blissey, but Toronto Pure wanted me to use Blissey, and I do take sometimes I'll take request into account, but either way, I was thinking my Blissey would be able to stand up well against this guy, but it's taking me, and if he actually rotates those Protects, it's going to take, I mean, it's basically, it could take me up to 4 turns to break a Substitute. And by that time, his leftovers recovery is going to be enough, just completely negates that. So eventually I'm going to run out of Seismic Toss. The Seismic Toss doesn't have an outstanding amount of base PP, so with Pressure, this could just take a very long time. And that's what it's going to be. I mean, most of the battle is this. Just me Seismic Tossing the stupid Suicune. So if you're wondering why this might be 10 minutes, 10 plus minutes, you can blame me, you can blame him, but both of us are not switching at this time. And yeah, there's not really a whole lot I can do as long as he keeps substituting. I mean, I would obviously really love to get a toxic poison off on this guy, but you can't toxic poison through a substitute or protect. So yeah, he's just gonna go ahead and sub again, and I really should speed this part up more, but I'm gonna make you guys suffer through it as you know, I made the stream viewers suffer through it as we suffered through it, and just just gonna say that yeah, this is what happens when you PvP stall. It's not a cool strategy, not cool. Though he's also getting Calm Minds, which could be dangerous if its only attacking move wasn't Scald. I mean, if he was Ice Beam, then this would actually threaten my team a ton. But because it's Scald, like I said, my Mega Sceptile can come in, Mega Evolve, and even if he's at +6, I guess it would be a problem because my Mega Sceptile is special. So this really could have been a problem. I have no idea why I'm doing this. I guess at the very end of the day, what I wanted to do is make sure that this thing, if I was to go down with Blissey, I don't want this guy to have a sub. Now, he is going to go ahead and test the waters here with his Scald, but as you can see, I still take that very well, and that was a crit on top of it, because you're trying to hit Blissey with a special move. I don't care how many, Calm Minds you have. And he is actually going to switch out here, which I thought at the time was a bad play, because, like I said, I'm actually running out of Seismic Toss PP. I guess he doesn't know how much PP I have, but he really should know that I'd be running out soon. So this is a matchup that actually favors him. So I'm really surprised that he decides to switch out. And he goes out into his Muck, which, yeah, obviously is an annoying Pokemon as well. And, yeah, he's probably going to knock me off, but I don't really want to take that on anything. So I'm like, you know what, Blissey? We've had enough of you. I don't think you're going to take this very well, but stay in and maybe get some damage on this Muck. Because Muck is another Pokemon that actually tanks my team very, very well because it's probably carrying an Assault Vest. So I get that Seismic Toss damage, which is like nothing, and he is going to knock off my leftovers. It does about half. But as you can see, because that was, the boosted damage because I was holding an item, he's not going to be able to 2-hit KO me, and that's pretty much for sure. So I'm like, sweet, I wall this thing for days, but then he just goes into type Null. And I'm like, all right. This guy's probably going to try to Swords Dance or set up or something or just hit me. I'm pretty sure I can take one move from this guy. Let's try to go for the Toxic. And guess what? This guy really likes Substitute because there's another Substitute. And a very good move for him because, yeah, I can't get this thing Toxic Poisoned either. And, yeah, that sucks. So I'm going to go ahead and stay in once again because I'm pretty sure that my Seismic Toss, unless he's like max HP, I don't even know. I'm pretty sure my Seismic Toss can actually kill this Substitute in one hit. So I'm going to get rid of the sub at the very least and then switch out because obviously this is not a matchup that favors me. Or, no, I think what I actually try to do is I think I just stay in, yeah. I just tank a return, which I don't because I die. But this gives me a safe switch. So I'm going to go into my Sceptile, and I'm like, okay, dude, guess what? Yeah, you run away. He's fearing the Focus Blast. But guess what? Zan Master? I know what sub is, too. Because I knew that he would probably switch. I decide, and you know what? Even if he doesn't, I'm going to outspeed him. So I get a sub up and see maybe scout one of his moves. Worst case scenario, I just lose 25% of my HP. But this is super good for me because he's going to actually switch into Suicune. I have no idea why because the Suicune obviously doesn't have Ice Beam. So it's just a very curious play why he would go into that. In fact, that made no sense to me. I thought he would switch, but not into the Suicune. And yeah, he ends up just staying in and taking the Giga Drain and then just scalding me, which I X for resist. There's no way that's going to break my sub, so I have no idea what he was thinking here. Except I guess maybe he figured to sack Suicune was his best play. But yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and kill it. My first Giga Drain actually doesn't because this guy's probably, by the looks of it, Special Defense invested. In fact, I think I did a little more with my Earthquake earlier than I would have expected if it was max defense. I think it might actually be plus special defense, at least a little bit special defense invested. Anyway, in comes Rabombi. I don't have a way to super affect this guy. In fact, he resists and is immune to my 2 stab moves that I have. My hidden power is neutral. I don't remember what hidden power that is. It might be ice or something. I'm not really sure. But whatever it is, it's actually neutral to this Rabombi and does some decent damage. And obviously, he is going to break my sub. But that's free damage, so I'm just going to switch into my Nihilego. And I'm kind of bluffing the Scarf here because a lot of lead Nihilegos are Scarfed. So I'm like, okay, maybe I can get him to panic and switch out. Now he ends up Quiver Dancing and then staying in. to hidden power me, and I don't know what hidden power that is, but it's super effective, but it doesn't kill, even after the plus special attack. Maybe it's hidden power ground? I'm not sure. Either way, no, ground would have probably killed me, because that would have been X4, wouldn't it? I don't know what hidden power that is. But either way, it seems to be only X2, because it doesn't even, it does barely half. And yeah, I'm going to be able to kill him with my power gem. And this is not a scarf set, as you can see. And yeah, he's just going to go into Muck, obviously, because Muck is just going to take all special moves very, very well. I decide just to get the power gem off on this Muck. It's like, whatever. I just want to get chip damage on it and get a safe switch into my Metagross. And he is going to go ahead and switch out into type Null again. But here I make an excellent play, just going for the stronger Meteor Mash, figuring it would do a ton to this Muck anyway. And if he does go into type Null, it should put it in 2-hit KO range. And as you can see, that does look like to be a 2-hit KO with Meteor Mash. And I'm able to take out this type Null, which is obviously very bulky. And if I went for the Earthquake, I'm not sure I would have been able to 2-hit KO it. So pretty crucial. And as he just goes back into Muck, I'm like, well, now I don't even need to predict. I'm just going to go for the Earthquake, because that's super effective on your Muck, sir. And yeah, down goes Muck, and that's cool. Now, he's probably actually, what he was probably doing is trying to wither me down a little bit with my Life Orb before he goes into his Mega Sceptile, which he's hoping at this point he can KO me, because if he cannot, that's game over. Obviously, this is his last Pokemon. Well, I guess it's not a foregone conclusion. I'm going to kill him with Meteor Mash, but I probably will. But yeah, he does go for the hidden power. It is super effective, but I live with 10 HP. Metagross for the clutch, and I'm actually surprised. I didn't get a crit or anything, but I do take out this Sceptile in one hit, so pretty neat. Good job, Metagross. Metagross is kind of unloved at the moment since Mega Metagross got banned. I mean, it's not even, I mean, it is UU, but it's not even like a top UU used Mon either, so yeah, needed to get some love, and it did some work there against Zan Master, and another very good game there. So, yeah, cool. Who was your favorite villain in any Pokemon game? Or, let's just make it any video game, period. So, literally any villain, any game. As for me, man, Chrono Trigger's Lavos character, I mean, obviously it is a very high personality, but just the thought of this extraterrestrial being that's just going to destroy the world, always very cool. I'm trying to think if there's any other memorable video game villains that I can think of on the top of my head. Obviously, Giovanni in Pokemon is very iconic. And I'm actually going to say that more than Lavos and Giovanni, though, my favorite video game villain of all time is Flowey from Undertale. Probably the best designed villain of all time. Just creepy, and the entire plot of Undertale is excellent. But Flowey is definitely a character that develops as you play through the game, even through multiple playthroughs, and it's really unexpected who he ends up being in the end. And if you haven't played Undertale, play it. It's literally one of the best games, best indie games ever made, if not the best, one of the best games ever made. Period. But anyway, leave a comment about that, and see you guys again next time. Later.